Hello there, you're welcome to this video presentation. As a matter of fact, this is the second video presentation in a series of video presentations aimed at showing you the escape plan. My name is Lumen Christie. I'm your humble servant. I should say I'm the torchbearer. My objective here is to point the light to you to be able to follow, especially within the context of an AI-dominated application era, which is beginning to make a lot of things difficult for so many people, and it's still going to be making a lot of things difficult for so many people, in as much as it's also going to be making a lot of things easy for so many people. It doesn't really matter which part of the divide you actually belong, but the truth be told, there are some people that are going to be noticing a lot of difficulties, a lot of resistance in some areas. I should say difficulties in the way of life they have actually been living. So within the context of this video, I'm going to be sharing knowledge with you about a certain company that has been able to sit down to reflect, think out of the box about what can be done, especially for a greater majority who are likely to be affected in one way or the other by these AI-dominated applications, which we have almost everywhere. So please just make sure that you sit down, relax, take a chill pill, and just make sure you follow this video presentation from its very beginning to the very end, because you're going to be learning a lot of things that are going to impact your life positively, especially if you're an average person. Same applies even to those who might consider themselves to be extremely wealthy. The truth be told, the search for wealth never ends. It's a continuous process. So if you're already there, probably you want to maintain your position there. That means this video presentation is definitely for everyone. So please make sure if you have the possibility to share this video with other persons, do so that they can also be able to catch, the details of this knowledge and of course appropriate on it, and they make their lives actually better. Please, just in case you haven't subscribed to this channel, just do me the favor by clicking on that subscription button or on the notification button. That way, whenever I'm uploading videos, you will always be among the first people to be aware of such videos, and you get to savour their content. Very, very, very important. So like I did mention in the first video presentation towards its very end, one sure way of escaping this particular era, the trap that this particular AI-dominated application era is setting for so many people, is doing what is by going back to the soil. Remember, everything got started from the soil. At some point, people started deviating from the soil. It's about time everybody started returning to the soil, because that is a level playing field. It's a level ground for everybody. Nobody associates or connects himself or herself to the soil and comes back empty-handed. We know all of this right from Bible times. So it's about time everybody started returning back to the soil. Why is it so? Because like I did mention also in the first video presentation, a lot of jobs are about to be lost. In other words, millions and millions of people who are actually doing one thing or the other, probably earning a salary from that on regular basis, are about to find themselves again where in the job market, a market which is gradually being taken over by the presence of robots motored by AI, artificial intelligence. So like I did say, there is this company, an African company, with the expertise of the person leading this company, the vision bearer, that has actually been able to sit down, think out of the box, and come out with a perfect solution on how many people can get to escape the trap that is currently being set by this era, which is full with AI applications. Now, I'm going to be sharing knowledge or some details about what this company has been able to put in place as a perfect solution with you. And like you already see on the screen, this particular company goes by the name Lifeplus Foundation International. Lifeplus Foundation International, it has as a motto, now you can. Why is it having now you can as a motto? Simply because probably before now, you might be somebody who has made adventures into several domains, probably online, some getting yourself involved with some kind of online applications or some kind of online businesses or whatever it is. Maybe you've tried this business or tried the other one, and somehow things have just not been turning right for you, which means that if you are still where you are, not classified among the richest people of the world, it definitely means you probably haven't found a niche that can actually take you to that level, which means that the things you've probably been doing have not been able to permit you to be classified among the richest people in the world, or probably have not actually been able to permit you consider yourself as a rich person. I mean, in terms of material, not spiritual wealth, as a matter of fact. From that perspective, it is safe for me to say, if you couldn't make it before, if you couldn't climb that ladder of success before now, through this particular company, with the solution that this particular company has been able to put in place, once you get yourself connected, once you appropriate this particular solution, meaning once you make use of this particular solution, what you couldn't do before now, precisely, if you couldn't walk up the ladder of wealth, of success before now, right now, by you or by virtue of you connecting yourself to this particular solution, it means right now you can. In other words, right now it is possible for you to get to that breakthrough, that success breakthrough you've been longing for so many years now. This is your opportunity. This is your time. Now, what are some of the peculiarities of this particular company, which goes by the name Lifeplus Foundation International? So, like I did mention, I'm going to be sharing some knowledge with you, beginning first of all with trying to make you understand some of the details, some relevant information with regards to this particular company. As a matter of fact, Lifeplus Foundation is more or less an international community of persons which was created by successful professionals who are members, well trained, of course, and who also empower and financially support those who actually get to join them in this same community so that they can eventually start, grow their own businesses, and become successful entrepreneurs. It's as simple as that. So it's more or less an organization which is made up of successful entrepreneurs, those who have actually succeeded to break out into those various domains. So with the wealth of experience that they have got, they are capable of sharing their experiences with a lot of people who get to join them in this particular organization. So once you come into this organization, you are definitely going to be trained. Definitely, you're going to become a member. As a member, you will receive training, which is a way of empowering you, geared towards rendering you a successful person, financially speaking, through you becoming a successful business person who eventually is going to graduate to be what we refer to as a successful entrepreneur. That is one main mission, or one of the reasons, or one of the characteristics of this particular organization. Now, as a main mission, what is the major mission? Because it has got several missions, but the principal mission of all is developing Africa's economy through what? Through the training of prospective small and medium enterprises and using cooperative methodology to achieve the dreams of such business owners. Oh, I'm so elated to have gained knowledge about this particular company and eventually taking bull by the horn by belonging to this particular company. Probably some of you might not actually understand what is actually the content of this mission, which I just read to you right now. Now, when I say they are actually using the cooperative methodology to achieve dreams, what does it mean? Just like it is often said, many hands do light work, or little drops of water make an ocean. Now, with this community or this cooperative methodology, there are a lot of things. There are a lot of things that are going to be made easy for every member of this corporation, to every member of this organization. So you get to receive assistance from left and right. So with many hands put together, a lot of work is done with relative ease. And of course, the positive results thereof are felt by every member of the organization. You're going to be getting more insight with regards to that as we actually progress in our video presentation. Now, as a major vision, the main vision of this organization is to become Africa's leading empowerment organization by doing what? By producing at least 1 million entrepreneurs within what? Within the first 5 years of its operation. That is its main vision. So the main vision of this organization is to do what? Is to produce at least 1 million successful entrepreneurs within the very first 5 years of its operation. It's as simple as that. Now, the question is, are you going to be among the 1 million persons? You stand a better chance of giving an answer to the question. Now, let us look at the legality. Let's look at the legality of this particular organization. Now, I can tell you in all honesty that this particular company is duly registered in Cameroon. So in Cameroon, this is their registration certificate. As you can see, there's duly registered with the Cameroon government through the appropriate arm. And this registration was done precisely in Boya. That is to tell you that this is an organization that is operating within the legal framework. So this is not an organization you will be doing any form of business and having maybe some resentment or having a second thought as to whether they're actually legally operating in Cameroon or not, just like they equally have the same legality, given to them in other African countries where they actually operate. And let me make you understand that this particular organization exists only in Africa, but it's not meant only for Africans, but it is meant for the African continent, which means that you will not see this business being talked about maybe in other, let's say, other continents of the world, because it is not an all-inclusive business. It is a business which was well crafted out, particularly for Africa, for the African community. Why? Because it is assumed that the African continent has actually suffered a lot, especially when it comes to investments, particularly when it comes to investments online. Let me take a simple example for those who have been investing in digital currencies. A lot of Africans have lost so much money online. So it means that if you were looking for means to climb the rank ladder of success through your investment on the internet, for instance, or online, and you've not been able to do that in the past, the time has come for you to be able to succeed in that particular dream of yours. That is why the motto of this particular organization is "Now you can," meaning that you can do the things you've been struggling to do in the past and not succeeding. Right now, this is your opportunity. Why? Because the modus operandi, as a matter of fact, the business model is very simple. It's the simplest, it is the best, easy to understand, and it runs an open door policy, which means that it accepts everybody on board, whether you know how to read or not, whether you know how to write or not. Even for the blind, it works for everybody. So it is all inclusive. It accepts everybody across the board. That is one major reason why everybody is rushing to be a part of this particular organization. Now, let us talk about the board of directors. The board of directors in Cameroon, the Cameroon board of directors for this particular business, because to tell you the truth, this particular organization runs a decentralized system, which means that its representation in every country is actually being managed by a board of directors. Now, let us look at the case of Cameroon. So in Cameroon, you have a number of persons who constitute the board of directors. Now, the role of these members is to stand as the intermediaries between members of the organization who are based in Cameroon and the management of the company, which means if there are some modifications that are supposed to be done with regards to the business operating within the territory of Cameroon, or maybe there are some concerns that members of the organization are actually expressing and want these concerns to be taken to the level of the top management, then the board of directors are the ones who are going to sit and do some reflection over those proposals or those suggestions, and they will be able to come up with appropriate solutions if they are going to contact the hierarchy of the organization, or probably they are going to sit and work out or carve out some solutions that will actually make the business more successful and more easy for people to do within the territory of Cameroon. Same thing applies to other African nations, because as we speak, this particular business is already established in about 7 different African countries. So each country has its own board of directors that is taking care of the affairs of the business. I mean, who are representing actually the hierarchy in that particular nation. So if there are some things that they need to put in place to actually make the business to gain more grounds in that particular country, or there are some obstacles that are actually preventing the business from gaining grounds in such a country, these people are the ones in charge. They are actually there to make sure that they play that particular role. Now, for the case of Cameroon, these are the various members who constitute this board of directors. You can see them right here. That is the national coordinator. And then you have the other members, So these are the people who actually are behind the climate of the business run by the organization within the territory of Cameroon. Now, let us look at the core services. what is this particular company or organization actually offering as services? Now, this particular organization is more concerned about two major areas. So it actually offers services in the domain of agriculture and services in the non-agri sector. So principally, it deals with the agri sector and the non-agri sector. Now, we are going to get into each of these sectors. We see exactly what this organization is offering and some of the advantages that we can get to, to benefit from each of these sectors. As simple as that. Now we are going to begin with the agri sector. Now let's talk about, the services that this particular organization is offering under the sector of agriculture or under the agri sector. To begin with, once you register with this organization, you are going to receive training for cutting edge knowledge tailored specifically for you, either in the domain of poultry farming, fishery farming, piggery farming, bee farming, or in the domain of rabbit farming, or in the domain of snail farming, or mushroom farming, or goat farming. It doesn't end there. You can also receive cutting-edge knowledge in the domain of cassava production, cassava farming, or in the domain of hamster production, or what we commonly refer to in local parlance as cutting grass. So if you are somebody who really wants to learn how to do any of this, which I just mentioned, the domain of agriculture, if you want to do, in fact, if you're interested in any particular domain here, this particular company has resource persons who will be able to give you advanced knowledge, in fact, cutting edge training on how to do some of these things professionally so that your results will always be very, very good in the market. Think of how our parents used to do farmings back in the days, using rudimentary methods of doing it. The same formula year in, year out for several years, always achieving the same results. If you want to have results which are, let's say, top quality results, then there has to be a change in the way these things are being done. If these things have been done using rudimentary methods over the years, it's about time we start receiving cutting-edge knowledge on how to do this same activity, but from a different perspective that is going to give us very, very positive results in the market. So for you to be able to benefit from this advanced knowledge, you need to get yourself connected to this organization, Lifeplus Foundation International. That is the hub that is going to give you that cutting-edge knowledge. And trust me, once you embrace this knowledge, your results are going to be very positive and evident on the field. So you are going to receive advanced training in any of these domains which I just mentioned. It's as simple as that. Now, in the non-agri sector, if you are interested in learning professional how to produce soap, how to produce perfumes, or how to produce insecticide, you're also going to be trained professionally on how to do that. Now, the next question is, how do you join Lifeplus Foundation International? There are only two entry-level packages. The first package is Diamond, which is 85,000 francs, and the second package is 125,000 francs. So you either go in for the first package or the second package. But if you ask me, I will advise that you go in for the second package. Why? Because there are some advantages that only people who go in for the second package will stand to get in this company.